Okay, sit yourself onto your left and come into a good cross-leg position. Just observing your balance. Just sitting evenly, sitting with levelness, so that you can really just relax into the hips. Hold on to your knees and then elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just spend a moment to observe your balance and just adjust if necessary. Move the buttock flesh out to the side. Look at something that doesn't move. Allow your eyes to become still in the sockets. And focus on the action of the breath. Focus on the feeling of the breath. Just to draw your attention into the present moment. So keeping your eyes still in the sockets and observing the physical action of the breath are good ways to bring your attention into the present moment. Slow, deep, full inhalations, slow, deep, steady exhalations. And then release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together. Lengthen from the armpits into your elbows. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close, but focus on keeping them, the eyeballs still in the sockets. And just filling your lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Allow the in-breath to be non-resistant. Draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area As you release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards, bringing the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just spend a moment just to acknowledge how the body is feeling. And then gently raise your head and allow your eyes to softly open. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, elevating the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation, and with an exhalation, drive the chin forward and down to meet the chest. Lift the chin up to meet the chest and consciously draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Just consciously stretching out the back of the neck. Take a deep inhalation, and with an exhalation, raise the chin up to the ceiling. Just feeling that stretch of the front of the neck. Take a deep, non-resistant inhalation, and with the exhalation, bring the chin down, forwards and down, back to the chest. Take a deep, non-resistant inhalation, and then with the exhalation, raise the chin back to the ceiling. Feeling the stretch of the front of the neck, pushing the chin to the ceiling to stretch it out a little more. And then come back to the center. Lift the chest, and then with an out breath, come over to the right side. Bringing the right ear across to the right shoulder, but keeping the shoulder away from your ear. Feeling the stretch in the left side of the neck. Take a deep, non-resistant inhalation, and with the exhalation, come over to the center and keeping the neck long, bringing the left ear across to the left shoulder. Feeling the stretch in the right side of the neck. Take a deep inhalation, and with the exhalation, come back across to the right, feeling that stretch across the left side of the neck. Waking up the muscles of the neck. Deep inhalation, and then just one more time over to the left. Keep the chest consciously lifted, lifting the heart area, stretching out the right side of the neck. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, keep the chest facing the front, and then with an exhalation, draw your chin over to the right side. Take a deep inhalation, and then come back to the center with the exhalation and over to the left. deep inhalation. With the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the right again. Taking a deep, non-resistant inhalation, and then with the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the left. And then a deep inhalation and then back to the center. So when I talk about a non-resistant inhalation, I mean, if your arms are clamped into the sides of the body, then the side ribs in the armpit chest just can't expand. So giving yourself the space to expand with the in-breath into the armpit chest, into the front chest, and into the back chest, just allowing the breath to really touch the sides of the lungs. Take a deep, non-resistant inhalation and then turn to the right side. This time keeping the neck still, but turning the shoulders. Just look forwards, but draw your shoulders across, draw your ribs and your abdomen. Focusing on non-resistant inhalations. Try and get the air to touch all of the surfaces of the lungs. Come back to the center. Take a deep inhalation. And with the exhalation, turn to the left. Consciously getting the in-breath to touch all of the surfaces of the lungs. Observing the expansion of the chest with the inhalation. That's part of the expansion, that's part of the non-resistance, allowing the chest to expand with the breath. So the body accommodates the breath, and by doing so, it welcomes in the energy of the breath. And then come back to the center. Come off your lift and sit back on your heels. Sit back on your heels, let the shins just sink into the ground. Just feel how the legs can just mold into the floor. And then consciously press the shin bone into the shin skin. The shin bone into the shin skin. So that the thighs activate. You observe the thighs activating. Are they activating evenly, or is one activating more than the other? And then elevate the heart area upwards, nice and lightly, but with deep extension. Come forwards, hinging at the hips, stretching forwards, spreading the fingers, spreading the palms. Keeping the seat bones down on the heels, using your physical intelligence to know where those seat bones are, to keep them connected to the seat bones. In this pose, aim to make the inhalation non-resistant. It can be difficult to do that because the abdomen is typically a little more restricted and the breath feels a little restricted. So if you feel that your breath is a little restricted, get a block and put your forehead onto the block, press the forehead down firmly. Just giving yourself a little space, keeping the seat bones down on the heels, and just breathe non-resistantly. Just maybe you bring that block up onto the high end to give you space to breathe. making the breath touch the back of the lungs as well as the side and the front. Just consciously breathe into the back chest. Keep pushing the seat bones down on the heels. Keep your arms really activated and extending away from the knees. Come up onto your knees. Just move the block out of the way if you had it for your head. Turn your toes under. Have your feet as wide apart as the mat. Have your hands as wide apart as the mat, and come up into dog down. Aiming to breathe with non-resistance. So when the breath is free and non-resistant, the body absorbs more of the energy of the breath. So consciously breathe into the armpit chest. Breathe into the back chest. Breathe from the bottom of the lungs all the way up to the top. Filling your lungs like you're filling a jug of water. Just breathing deeply, activating the legs really deeply. Using your physical intelligence and your intellectual body to activate the body in the way that we do typically. I'm giving little instruction here. I want you to focus on the breath, but I want you to activate as you would normally. So tightening the kneecaps is the minimum. Lifting the fronts of the thighs up to the top of the leg, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Pushing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Corkscrewing the legs down from the top of the leg to the bottom. Keeping that breath non-resistant. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. And then get a couple of blocks for your hands. Half uttanasana, bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. Make sure that your toes line up with each other. Feel that your heels are on the edge of the mat. Feel that the little toes are on the edge of the mat. Using your physical intelligence to observe it. Lift up into the chest, hinge at the hips, and then reach down. Keeping the back straight as you come down. So the tallest lift might be a little high. Allow it to be a little high. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Just observe how much the chest opens when you're on the highest lift. Activate your legs as we were doing in dog down. Tightening the kneecaps, lifting that slab of the front of the thigh up towards the top of the leg. Turning that thigh inwards. If you can reach down, lower. If your back will allow it, then come down a little lower. But observe how it affects the breath. If you start to drop the chest, you find that your body will resist the breath. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. You can reach around the backs of your heels, drawing the body in between the space between the legs, then do, but not if it sacrifices the freedom of the breath. Okay, come back to the center point. Bring your hands onto your hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to. And then come up into Tadasana. Come on. Arthur, come on. Just be in Tadasana. Just lifting up into the chest. Drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Turn the palms of the hands outwards so that you rotate the upper arms in the shoulders so that you broaden the collarbone. Just aim to breathe non-resistantly. Tightening the kneecaps, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards like we were doing in dog down in uttanasana. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Bring your arms out nice and wide. And just spend a few moments making the breath touch the sides of all of the sides of the lungs. So sometimes you have to soften the breath to make the breath make the lungs accommodate the breath. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out. Turn the legs the opposite way to Tadasana. Turn the fronts of the legs outwards. And then come down, find the shin. Look up. Turn the front of the thigh of that right leg from the big toe side to the little toe side. Squeeze in the front leg buttock bone forwards. Turn the front of the back leg thigh outwards, but push that back leg towards the wall behind you. Continue to breathe non-resistantly. If it helps, you can look down. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the centre, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in slightly, the left leg and foot all the way out. Again, rotating the tops of the legs all the way out. And then come down, find the shin. Initially look up, make some corrections to ensure that you are in a really good alignment. Look down to the foot. Is your head over your foot? If it's not, then turn the leg a little more. Squeeze the front leg, buttock bone forwards, lift the chest. And then keep looking down, but look away from the foot. And just focus on the soft breath. Feeling the breath touching the sides of the lungs. Keeping the legs straight, keeping the kneecaps tightened. Take a deep inhalation, and on the exhalation come back up. Bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Again, just giving the chest space to breathe. So turning the palms outwards, rotating the upper arms in the sockets, broadening the collarbone. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Try not to force the breath. Just let the breath be gentle. Bring your arms out nice and wide in toward your chest, and then step or jump. Go a little wider than last time. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out. If you can grab a block, put that on the outside edge of your foot. Probably should have said that before we jumped the feet apart. But so turn the legs out again from the big toe side to the little toe side, especially if this back leg, but also especially if this front leg. Tighten the kneecap of the front leg, lift up into the chest, bring the chest to face the front. Stretch your arms out, keep that back leg straight, and then bend the right leg. Find a right angle. Bring your left hand onto your hip and then reach down. Find the block or reach down to the floor. Just feel, using the block gives you a bit more space. So maybe let's all use a block. Push the bent knee into the arm into the knee, keeping this back leg really straight. Draw the abdomen up towards the chest and then reach up and over, a straight line with this top arm with the back leg. Keep turning the chest, parsvakonasana. Parsva is a turn. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Soft breath. Can you keep the breath soft even though this pose requires a little more energy to execute? Let the breath be soft and full. Make the air touch the sides of the lungs. In the back chest, in the armpit chest. Okay, come back to the center. Bring the feet parallel. And then step or jump the feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Just focus on keeping the breath soft. Put the block on the left side of the mat. And then just use Tadasana just to get your breath back. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide. Turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. Get the chest to face the front. Tighten the knees and turn the fronts of the thighs outwards. Bend that front knee, find a right angle. Bring your right hand onto your hip and then reach down. Find the floor or the block. Let's all go with the block for today so that you can really open the chest. Keeping the chest soft, but allowing it to expand to accommodate the breath. Keep that back leg really straight. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, turning the chest. So a straight line, preferably from this back leg all the way up into the top leg. Consciously filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom. Keeping the breath deep nutritive. Turning the chest up to face the ceiling, keeping that back leg straight. And then come back up to the centre, bring the feet parallel. And then step or jump the feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. If you're not going to do full uttanasana because of a back problem, then come forwards, bring your hands onto the top of a lift and then hit the legs away so that the side ribs really open up and extend. Otherwise, have your feet hip width apart, turn the toes in, raise your arms, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbows, and then come forwards, hinging at the hips, and then allowing the top of the body to hang down. Just observe that softness of the breath. Observe where there is resistance, where there is freedom. So you can come into half uttanasana if it feels a little overly resistant in the back. If you can't reach the floor, you can put blocks under your hands, or you can bring your hands onto the shins. Turn the toes in, activate the fronts of the thighs, lift the kneecaps, lifting the kneecaps up to the thighs, lifting the thighs up into the hips, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Just keeping the breath consciously soft but deep, making the air touch the sides of the ribs, even in the armpit chest and in the back chest. Touching the sides of the lungs, making the ribs expand as you inhale. Release your hands down to the floor. Just come back into half uttanasana. And then walk your hands towards the end of the mat. Bend your knees if you need to reach the floor. Bring your hands shoulder width apart. Bring your feet hip width apart. And then come up into dog down. Again, with a focus on making the air touch every side and corner of the lungs. Dog down is a really good pose for bringing focus to the breath. So activate it as normal. But with a focus on the breath. If I'm holding you too long in the pose, then come out of the pose. It's not supposed to feel like torture. Okay, come down onto your knees, sit back on your heels. Sit back on your heels and just lift the chest. Just feel the Energy around the chest and around the arms, around the head and the neck and the hips and the legs. Just feel how you have lifted your energy. Come up onto all fours for rajakapotasana. Lengthen the toes away from your knees. Bring your right knee forward to make contact with your right wrist, and then bring the right foot underneath the left hip. And then stretch that left leg away. So stretching the left leg away. Tadasanaise that left leg. Turn the front of the thigh inwards so that the back of the thigh turns outwards, so that the hips come level. Come up onto the fingertips. Lengthen into the toes of the back foot and then lift up into the chest. Turning the crease of the elbows to face the front. Breathe in non-resistantly. If you want to go a little more deeply into the pose, then bend the back leg, point the toes up to the ceiling and lift up into the chest. You can reach around with the right hand, find that left foot, push the left hand in the left foot into the right hand, pull the foot towards you, push away and then lift up into the chest, but keep the chest level. Try and keep the shoulders level. And then release. Bring the palms of the hands down, step the left leg in and then step back onto all fours. Make sure that the hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Just have a little swing of the hips one side to the other, just opening up those side hips. And then come back to the centre. Just breathe in non-resistantly. Bring the left knee to make contact with the left wrist, the left foot underneath the right thigh, and then stretch that right leg away. And then tadasanaise that back leg, corkscrew it. Turn the front of the thigh inwards so the back of the thigh broadens outwards. Come up onto the fingertips and then lift the chest up to the ceiling. Lift the chin to the ceiling. If you want to go further, then point the toes, bend that back leg, point the toes to the ceiling, stay on the tiptoes, reach back with the left hand, find that right foot, push the foot into the hand, pull the foot towards the body, lift up into the chest. Now at this stage your shoulders are going to feel unlevel, so bring the shoulders across. Bring the shoulders so that they're level, keep the hips so that they're level. Just keep turning that front of the thigh inwards, keep rotating that back arm, shoulder forwards, lifting up into the chest. And then release the leg. Bring the palms down onto the floor. Just step in with that back leg and then come back. Just sit back on your heels. And then lift the chest, elevate the heart area upwards. And then come forwards into Adho Mukha virasana, just having the knees wide enough apart so that you can bring your chest through, you can bring the abdomen through without resistance. Keep pressing the seat bones down onto the heels. Push the hands into the floor, press them into the ground. Stretch them away from the knees. Aim to make the breath non-resistant. Put a block under your head if you've lost that non-resistance. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up. And then just observe your energy. Observe your energy. Just listen to the breath. Just feeling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Okay, we're going to go into baddha konasana, supta baddha konasana with the bolster. So grab your bolster. You can always put it onto a ramp if you remember. If you find that laying down on the floor without just on a flat bolster doesn't really work for you, you can have the bolster on a little ramp with using your blocks. Otherwise, have the bolster, have a folded blanket for your head, and then pull your feet in towards the body. Just don't be sitting right up on top of the bolster. Give yourself a couple of millimeters behind you. Push the hands into the floor and lift the chest. Elevate the heart area upwards. Guide yourself down onto the bolster and just have the folded blanket underneath the back of your neck and your head. Just making sure that the head doesn't roll back. So you might have to fold your blanket up thicker than usual. Just giving yourself a really comfortable position for the neck and for the head. Just make sure that the bolster doesn't feel like it's pinching in your lumbar. If it is, then bring yourself out of the pose and just shuffle yourself away from the bolster a little, and then come back. So focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Focusing on just ensuring that the air is touching all corners, all sides of the interior of the lungs. So let the breath be soft, don't harden it. Let the chest be soft, let the intercostal muscles be soft as they expand into the accommodation of the breath. So this is stage 1 of ujjayi pranayama. Just feeling that the chest can expand with the in-breath, feeling that you can breathe into both lungs evenly, feeling that the chest expands non-resistantly. That you're breathing into both lungs evenly. Stage 2 of ujjayi pranayama is where we exhale until the lungs are empty. Just exhaling until the sound of the breath stops, and then just a normal in-breath, and then you can just cycle around. Normal inhalation, slow, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty. Normal inhalation, slow, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty. Normal inhalations and slow, deep, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty, and you'll know that they're empty because the sound of the breath stops. So there should be no tension in the abdomen or around the diaphragm with that out breath. Just let the breath feel natural, but breathing until the lungs are empty. If it feels too much to do continual breaths, then take a few breaths in between, just a few normal breaths in between, and then go back to the slow, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty. Making sure that the in-breath touches all of the sides of the inner lungs, that the chest expands with the in-breath and relaxes with the out-breath. Just a few more cycles. So this breath, the extended out breath, helps to quieten the brain, to lower the blood pressure, to release the brain from depression. Just observe how full the inhalations feel, but we're not trying to breathe more deeply than usual. There might be a natural deepening, but just let that just happen naturally without consciously overdoing it. And then just finish with a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, and then bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm. So normal breaths make you aware of how little we fully empty the lungs. So the lungs are always full of stale air. And ujjayi stage 2 just helps to clear out the air from the lungs. Come up onto your elbows, come up onto your seat bones, and then just come up into baddha konasana, seated baddha konasana, holding onto the big toes. Just listening to the breath rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones, lifting up into the heart area, keeping the elbows out to the side so that the side ribs can still expand. Letting the breath touch all of the surfaces of the lungs. Bring the legs into swastikasana or half padmasana. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, take a deep inhalation. And then with the exhalation, turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Come back to the centre, hold onto your knees. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Keeping the chest broad, keeping the seat bones level, bringing the torso between the two hips if there's unlevelness at the hips. Using the exhalation to intensify your turn. And then gently come back to the centre. And then just move the bolster from behind you. Bring the bolster underneath your knees, have a folded blanket or underneath your head. And then just guide yourself down. Make sure you're in a really good straight line before you relax. To come up onto your elbows, just align the body and then allow the physical body to release into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Unhook them from the bones. Allow the physical body to become heavy. Get out of that heaviness. Perhaps you observe a feeling of irrepressible lightness that radiates from the bones and penetrates into the muscles. Radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Filling the internal organs with that sensation of lightness. Filling the organs and the flesh and the skin. Just using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes and into the fingertips and all the way up into the top of the head. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bend your knees, bring your feet back onto the bolster. Bring the feet apart, the knees together, just rest in your lower back onto the floor. And then roll onto your right side, just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just cross legs with your hands in the masti, your final spinal lift. Drawing your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning. That good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends of the twists and the reclining poses and the pranayama bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees. Palms facing upwards, just bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb and raise your head. Allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy. Give yourself a really good, thorough stretch and give yourself time to just